Hey everybody, I'm here for the new moon activation in Oak Creek Canyon, Sedona, and I hiked to the spot just for the activation today. Do a little something special for this new moon, new beginning. So I don't do these activations for the moon. They don't necessarily have anything to do with the moon. The moon is just used here as a time measure. So that's all it's used for. Moon is a measurement of time so that 4 times a month we can unite for these activations. That's all. It has nothing else to do with the moon. So today is the new moon, which means it's a new cycle, new beginning. This new moon is simply reflecting this newness that is behind all things right now and inside of yourself. So what is this new moon about? We're going to find out. These archetypal activations, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, basically serve as a map for us to move ahead in our collective and individual experiences in the most proficient and graceful way so that we can receive guidance to best move forward without any crisis and without wasting all of our energy and effort in a futile way. So I just want to say thank you in advance to these archetypes for providing this guidance always, each moment, and for these activations week after week. It's incredible the messages that can come through when you open up to receive them. So while you're all tuning in, just go ahead and begin to let go of all of the things you've been carrying with you today, yesterday, maybe this week, maybe this month, maybe for months. Whatever things you're holding on to that are filling you up and taking up space, let them go, at least just for this moment. Tell your repetitive thinking and your overwhelming emotions to take a seat for this activation. And depending on how you're feeling at the end of this activation, you can either welcome those thoughts and feelings back in, or you can choose to make a change. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin to shuffle. I've got the creek at my feet, so I don't have a table or something to lay the cards out, so I'm just gonna hold them in my hands today. Again, let go of all of those things that are filling you up. We need to create a space for the wisdom to enter. Otherwise, there's no space for that to take place. And energy can not be created or destroyed, right? It can only be transformed. So we don't need to create a space, rather we need to just think, what is the greatest space already present? It's the infinite space of the heart. So if you just tune in there, you will reach that spaciousness, that expansiveness that is necessary for this type of information to come through. And in that space, we are connected, we are united, we are one. So while I'm shuffling, go ahead and find that place outside of time and space, the timeless place within your heart. And when you feel you're open and ready to receive, having let go of all of your repetitive thoughts, go ahead and connect to the deck however you know how. Use your imagination. You can send a thread of light from your third eye to the deck or from your heart to the deck. However you want. You can just close your eyes and imagine that you're right here, right now. The new moon, like I said, is reflecting a new beginning behind all things. So it's not just about the moon, okay? So what is this activation going to show us? What did we come here to ask? Today we want to ask, what are we stepping into? What is this new beginning? Now that we're leaving the old cycle behind, which was all about, by the way, if you didn't tune into those activations, it was all about the moon and the sun doing that deep inner work so that we can shine our brightest radiance out into the world in a way that is for the benefit of one and all. Now where are we at? What's going on? What's going to be the new theme of the month, and how can we best harness these incoming energies and transmissions to make the most of our experience individually and together? So the main theme of this new cycle is The moon, again. We're not done with the moon. To best understand a card, you want to look to the card before it and the card after it to kind of get an idea of where you came from, where you're at, and where you're going. Okay, so right before the moon, we have the star, and right after the moon, we have the sun. The star is that place that you come to after things have fallen apart, after things have broken down, after the illusion has been washed away. You come back to this star of hope inside of yourself, remembering that that light inside can never be destroyed, and it's always there with you through all experiences, through all lifetimes. So you go into this place of meditation and remember who you are. And then when you open your eyes, you move from the 17 to the 18, the moon. You come out of that inner world, out of that meditation, back into this world of appearances and illusions. And you open your eyes, and the first light you see, the greatest light of the night, is the light of the moon. And there's two ways you can respond. You can, after having just remembered your inner light, you can either look at that moon as your own light, being reflected, seemingly outside of you, but connected. Or you can look at the light of the moon as outside of yourself, and you can become enamored by its twilight. You can become infatuated with that light in a way that it is outside of yourself. So those are the two ways we can look at the moon, either in its connection to who we truly are and our spiritual essence, or as a light outside of ourselves. One leads to deception, seeing that light as separate from who we are, and the other leads to illumination of the depths of our own darkness. When we see that moon as our own light reflected into the night sky, we can see how we are the light in the dark. The moon represents the soul inside. So long as we remain connected to the idea that it's one with us, we can begin to explore the depths and the darkness of this inner world. So it looks like we're not done with the moon yet. The moon was appearing in our last cycle, and here it is again at the very beginning. So the way that I see this is the world is going through a huge shift. We're all going through this huge shift. And we all feel like, oh, we're ready to reemerge again. We're ready to go back out into the world and connect and resume our normal lives, whatever that means to you. But I see this in two ways. A, yes, we're going back out into the world. If it's not right now, it's soon. It's inevitable that we come back out of our shells. We can't hide forever. So that's the first part. And B, even though we might think that we're coming back out into the world, we're ready to shine our true selves, we have to remember that this work is never done. The shadow work is never done. We can't go back into the world denying certain parts of ourselves. Rather, we have to bring those parts of ourselves out into the world to be illuminated, to be integrated. It's not about leaving the shadow behind, but integrating it with the light. So while we thought we were leaving this behind, ready to move on to the sun, we're moving what seems like backwards, sort of retrograde reflection there. But we're not moving backward, we're just realizing the necessity to bring the shadow into the light, not to leave it behind. And just a little interesting fact for you tarot lovers, the moon and the sun is a very specific part within the sequence. Within the moon is the sun. You can very much see this here. The sun is inside of the moon. The moon is pregnant with the sun. What that means is that while we're going through our darkness or the depths of our soul or our shadow, diving deep into who we are, the sun, or that shining forth of that healed expression, is already implied. The fruit is within the seed. So if we do the inner work, we're guaranteed to shine. That's the whole idea of the moon to the sun. And within the sun is the moon. This is where things flip inside out in the tarot. This card is considered the Holy Cross, or the Immaculate Conception. So when we get to the sun, we may be radiating our expression, radiating who we are. But the sun, that radiation, that light shining forth, works for the moon. The sun shines for the moon. Our expression should be the soul's expression, because that's the truest one. So the sun is in the moon and the moon is in the sun. So it's interesting. We went from the moon being the main card to the sun being the main card last week to now the moon again. Simply revealing the importance to remember what we're radiating, what we're expressing. Why are we working so hard to shine our light? For the soul's progression. So that's the main theme of the month. We're back to the moon. Not necessarily saying we're going to retreat back into our shells. No, it's inevitable that we come back out into the world. It's inevitable that we reconnect and unite. But we must do so from a place of wholeness, not neglecting or denying certain parts of who we are, but integrating all the parts. Don't leave your shadow behind. Bring it with you in a way that's healthy and integrated. So I have the minor arcanum now. The minor details or secrets of the deck that are going to help us here. They're going to elaborate on this message of the moon. So what is it really about? Why the moon again, you know? How do we best heed this advice, this guidance? What do we do with this moon? What are we meant to do with this moon? What is the challenge right now in bringing this energy through us and activating it to be of use for the one? What is our biggest challenge in this moon lesson right now? Three of Cups. I would say that this is all about reuniting with people, learning new ways of connecting with people, hopefully through the heart space, because that's where things flow in divine order. But the challenge here is bringing our shadow into the light and integrating it in a way that's vulnerable, in a way that is open to the guidance and the help of others, our friends and our family. This is the challenge. How do we together heal and integrate the shadow self? How do we allow each other to be in our shadows without judgment, without condemning each other? This is the biggest challenge, is supporting each other through this time of integrating the shadow and going to the depths of who we are to heal that. We get so caught up in our own process and in our own work that we kind of forget that everybody around us is going through this as well. We're all in this together. So it's important to remember that and to lean on each other and to be vulnerable and to open up about those parts of ourselves that we've been hiding, that we've been denying. There are parts of ourselves that we've kept hidden. And up until now, we might have thought, oh, well, those are parts of myself that I actually need to get rid of. Those are parts of myself that I need to banish or change. But now we're seeing, no, they're parts of ourselves that need to be witnessed, acknowledged, understood, and nurtured like a small wounded child, you know? You don't just say, oh, that's really messing my flow up here. You better get the hell out of here, little kid. You don't say that to your inner child. You don't say that to the pains inside. You can't just say, get out. You have to go through the work. You have to acknowledge the pain. You have to understand it if we don't understand the pain, then our work is not really complete. We may be shoving things under the rug, but they're bound to come out and bite us in the ass later. To do the healing, we have to face our shadow. The only way out. There's really no way out. There's only in. But the only way to the other side is through the challenge. So the most important thing right now is witnessing each other as we go through this process of acknowledging the parts of ourselves that we were trying to hide or throw away. We can help each other by creating this space for each other to feel comfortable to do this work. We can witness each other's shadow together. And not just shadow in a way that's negative. I don't want that to sound so negative. There are also parts of ourselves that are hiding in the shadows that want to be seen and nurtured and grown, expressed. Parts of ourselves that are actually really good, that the world needs, but we've been keeping them in the shadows, hidden under layers of maybe other shadows that, yeah, are things that need to be let go of or healed. I keep hearing this very clearly, that the moon here is saying there are parts of our shadow that they do not want to be thrown out or denied or healed even. They want to just be expressed. There are parts of ourselves that have been for a long time hidden, tucked away, denied, and they're ready to be seen just for how they are. They don't want to be shifted or transmuted. They simply want to be released. So our challenge has been helping each other in doing this. And what this could look like in relationships and in your friendships and with, family members and even strangers. It could look like maybe we're setting up boundaries or limitations, not only for ourselves, but also for them. How have we been restricting our loved ones from expressing who they really are inside? Maybe we have been in denial of those parts because we're uncomfortable with those parts for some reason. Maybe we fear that if our friends or loved ones express those parts of themselves, it will hurt us in some way. Maybe there's anger there or jealousy there on your end that is making someone around you feel unsafe to express those deeper parts of themselves. But when we remember that we really are one, that we really are literally connected, we're one, then we know that your healing is my healing. And if I open up that space for you to shift and change as you let out those truer expressions of your soul and who you really are, then regardless of where that leaves me in our relationship, what I do know is that it leaves me in a place of expansiveness. It leaves me in a place of being able to reflect that openness, to bring up those parts of myself that have nothing to do with you. So if we become so stuck on our pain, our anger, our jealousy, or whatever it is, then we don't allow the people around us to grow, and we don't allow ourselves to grow. But if we let go of the fear of allowing others to just be who they are, then we also will let go of the fear of being who we truly are. The thing is, it's only when we detach and let go of our expectations in relationships, our expectations of who people are. It's only when we do that things really grow in a way that's for the highest good of the one. See, it's not about the individual relationships, but it's about the whole one relationship. All of us together as one, and our relationship with self. So long as we hold others captive, energetically, spiritually even, in these boxes, like you have to be this way because I'm scared that if you're the way that you really are, I'll lose you. So long as we do that, we're losing nothing but our own self and our own opportunity to express who we really are. But the more we allow others to be who they are, who they've been wanting, desiring to be, the more we allow others to break free, regardless of what that's going to look for us. Regardless of what that's going to look like for us. then the more we can begin to create a space to say, oh shit, wow, I didn't realize that in doing this for others, the favor would be returned. But of course, that's law. So I didn't realize the favor would be returned, and now I have the space to be who I really am. So just like a very clear and obvious example in today's world would be, let's say you're afraid of letting your friend travel. Like your friend wants to travel to a new country and you're like, oh, but the virus, and oh, but this, and oh, but that. And then you turn around and you reflect and you say, oh, maybe it's because I'm just afraid of losing him or her. And then instead you support them and you say, no matter what, I trust your intuition and I support you. And that friend goes away and you might miss them. But in that time, all of a sudden, all this energy is freed up. All the time that you were spending in this one relationship with this one friend now opens you up to maybe dive deeper into a hobby that you had. And all of a sudden this hobby becomes your career. And that free time ends up being a blessing. So that's just a small example. But the point is here that the more we give others the freedom to be who they really are, the more we are given the freedom to be who we really are. We have to let go of our self-imposed limitations. We have to come out of our box, our cave. And we have to trust that everything will fall into perfect place, that everything's always in divine order. We have to trust this, not only in some moments, but in all moments. And especially in those moments that apply to the opportunity to bring out our truest soul's expression. We have to let go of the worry or fear of what will happen when we let others be truly themselves and cling to the trust and the faith that that's the only thing that's important. The most important thing right now, the best thing we could do is throw that fear aside and radically express our own freedom and create a space for others to do the same. The most important thing right now is celebrating who we all are, who you are, who the people around you are in their truest expression, and seeing that for them, rather than seeing your own fear of letting them be who they are for whatever reason. We want to hold a vision for each other's highest freedom and expansion to be who they really are. But if we're worried about what that's going to do, we're not able to hold that vision. We can't be coming from a place of attachment with those visions, because then what happens is our visions become infiltrated by the ego mind. And those visions then become limited. And we're not able to truly pray and manifest our friend's highest good. When we are in the way of that, we're not able to see clearly. So how can we remove our attachment to the way things are so that we can make space for the way things really want to be? See everyone's happiness without your own crap in the way. That's the message right now. In order to fully support the healing of the one, the healing of your friends and family, the healing of yourself, this is the work that needs to be done. We need to give each other the space and the support to bring out those qualities that we've been hiding. Those things that are never going to go away, but that are just there, subconsciously tugging at our heartstrings, saying we want to be set free, we want to be expressed. You're keeping us down here in the shadows, forgetting about us. Speaking from an archetypal perspective, right? These feelings inside that want to be expressed so badly, they're ready to come out, and they're going to, it's inevitable. They're going to explode out. So we may as well heed this advice so that we can have the most graceful process here and support the coming out of these qualities of self that we've kept hidden for so long. And the thing that's in our way is attachment to the way things are and expectations of how they should be. So we need to let that go and open up to the truth of who people really are and who they really want to be. We have to stop pressuring each other to be a certain way. We have to stop telling each other what to do, what needs to be, let go of, and telling people that they need to be more like us, what our idea of goodness is. No, we need to just let each other be. We need to celebrate each other for who we really are, despite what that looks like as far as our relationships, our individual relationships. The goodness of the one depends on this work right now. So how can you maybe take 5 minutes today, just close your eyes and picture the people in your life that you've been interacting with the most, and see them in their highest light without this idea of attachment, without this idea of who you want them to be. Who do they want to be? And maybe you don't know, and maybe you can't see that. But ways you can help that come out, if you can't see it, is then initiating a conversation, a supportive conversation. Opening up a space for those ones you love to open up to you about what they feel, about who they really are, about what maybe they've been hiding from themselves and from you. Allowing a space for people to express who they really are. And maybe when you do this, maybe you'll invite a conversation with a loved one and say, hey, you know what? I just want to open up a space to talk. Letting go of all pressure. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just opening up this space. What do you feel you've been keeping from yourself or from the world? What are the parts of yourself that want to be expressed right now? And maybe they don't know, maybe they haven't thought about it, but you asking is everything. That's planting the seed for them to then conjure the answer for themselves. So whatever we can do to support this opening up of who people really are, that's what we have to do. And it could look like meditating on a vision of what you think that is, or asking them what they think that is. Not demanding an answer, but simply just asking the question. No pressure, they don't have to tell you the answer, but they can start thinking about it. Who am I? What is my highest expression right now? And with this freedom that my friend, my loved one is offering me right now, I feel safe to finally explore that. And to be real and to be honest with the world about who I fully, wholly am. I'm gonna pick one more card for today that's gonna say a little bit about how we can best move through this. What is the ally to this challenge of helping to let go of our attachments and expectations of other people? Four of Swords. This is the ally and how we can let go of our attachments and expectations of others to set them free so that we can set ourselves free. And this is rest, integration. Before we can actually do that, we need to let go of the expectations, before we can open up that space for all of us to be who we really are. We need to do the work, we need to rest. Just let everything catch up to us. First ask ourselves, what is that shit in the way? What is all that stuff that I've got going on? How have I been not only limiting myself from shining my fullest expression, from integrating parts of myself that I've been hiding from the world, but how have I been trapping others from doing that? How have I been limiting others? Or how have I not been supporting others in revealing those truest parts of themselves? How have I been maybe making people feel uncomfortable to be in their fullest expression? That's what's necessary right now. Before we can open up, which I see this coming at the end of the cycle. We're only at the beginning right now. So this is the first step. Before we can get to that point of being fully open ourselves so that others can be fully open, before we get to that point, we need to do the work. We need to rest and we need to reflect. How have I been limiting myself and others? How can I visualize and feel my way through this process? How can I close my eyes and meditate on it? How can I feel those relationships that I've been most involved with? Family, lovers, children, How can I see that person right now, see those people right now, and feel the energy I've been giving to them? First, without thinking about the words I've been saying and all the details, just the feeling. What feeling am I bringing into the room when I step into a room where my loved one is, where my loved ones are? Am I holding a frequency that's allowing me to be my truthful, honest self? Or am I holding back? And when I step into that room, am I holding a frequency that's also providing the space for that loved one, my child, my mother, my lover, my brother, my father, to be their fullest self? How can I attune my frequency to be more in alignment with this supportive kindness, openness, care, this nurturing invitation for myself and for the other who's one with me to be who they really are? So before we can do that, we need to really rest and reflect. How have I been limiting myself and others? How have I been uncomfortable? And how have I been making others uncomfortable with the shit that I'm toting around, the baggage I'm carrying around? Because that's felt. Whatever we carry around with us is felt, even by the most unaware person, somebody who's completely just not attuned to the subtle frequencies, somebody who you would say this person is not spiritually in tune, or, you know, the most unaware person will still feel the crap that you're carrying around. Because no matter what, we are all able to feel this. We all have intuition. It doesn't matter how activated it is. We all have the ability to be super psychic, yes, but in a way we all already are to an extent. Everyone feels things. Your aura isn't hidden from anybody or anything. Everything you do in the darkness is seen in the light. All of your negative thoughts, this is why, like, speaking badly about people weighs on you. It's why they say, oh, well, you want to be able to sleep good at night, but you can't if all you've been doing all day is talking badly about others. Because you feel shame, because you know then you're carrying that with you. It's in your aura. Talking badly about others isn't going to get you anywhere. It's only going to make you feel crappy. And it's like a smudge or a stain on your aura. And it's felt. And even if that person doesn't know that you're speaking badly about them, they will feel it. They will feel it. And when you're around them, they will really feel it. But even when you're not around them, we're all intuitive beings. So then when you are physically in their presence, oh, they're gonna feel it. And even if it's not them that you've been talking badly about, that person's gonna feel and experience this smudge on your aura or this weight that you're carrying around. And this is what creates complications in relationships, because then people start to make assumptions about those unsaid things, and they feel this darkness that you're carrying with you, and they think, oh, what did I do? It must be me. Was it something I said? Oh, she hates me. Oh, she doesn't like me. And then they start to respond based on those assumptions. And then you might think, oh, this person doesn't like me. And then it just creates this whole chaotic situation. Certainly doesn't provide an open space for us to be who we truly are. So people can feel that. We're all one, we're all connected. Doesn't matter who you're thinking badly about or speaking badly about, or what negative feelings you're carrying. That frequency is felt. And it does no good for yourself or for anyone around you. So how can we, right now, in this time of reflection, before we create that space for ourselves and others to open up, how can we first do the work in the inner world, right, before we manifest on the outside? How can we do this inner work by taking a pause and reflecting on the shit we've been carrying around with us? Say, what is that? What am I carrying around with me? What pain, guilt, shame, fear am I carrying around with me that's affecting my relationships. Because even if this pain or fear has nothing to do with the people you're interacting with, it's going to affect them. So if you are carrying around great shame, you're not fully open, you're not fully being your highest self, obviously, because your highest self, that frequency, doesn't resonate with shame. So if you were really being your highest and truest expression, you would not have shame. You would not have the fear. You wouldn't have those things, right? So here we are walking into these relationships, interacting with the people that we love, people that we care about most, while we're carrying these burdens. And they respond to that. And it projects onto them. And then they feel the discomfort. And then they hold back because of your shame. So we're doing each other no good by carrying these burdens. The best thing we can do is come to understand what burdens we've been carrying, meditate on how that's not only affecting ourselves, but those around us, thinking on how we can heal those burdens or face them and do the work in releasing them. And one great way to do that is seeing it as though it's already happened. While we're in this space of reflection and rest, what we can do is visualize what it would feel like to let go of those burdens, what it would look like to let go of those burdens. Picture your relationships transforming. Picture everyone around you smiling and happy and prosperous, joyful, healthy, thriving. Picture that. But know that you have to do the work to get there. Visualization is great. It's one of the highest tools you can use. But it doesn't release you from the work that has to be done. It's only the first step. So rather than worrying about how our burdens are going to still affect our future, we can claim right now that they're not. And we can begin to use our thought power to visualize a more positive future. We can send energy into the future of our relationships, projecting a future of positivity, a future of healing and connection, release, freedom of expression. And then the rest of the work is in releasing those burdens in a way that's real and visualizing all the ways that you can now open up a space for everyone to be who they really are without your expectations and without your projections and without your assumptions. The only way we can do that is when we ourselves are a clear mirror. When we release the burdens, first of all, so that we're not projecting onto others, and when we let go of our attachments and expectations. Genuinely curious about who these loved ones are. Replacing our definitions, our rigid definitions of who these people are, because we love to think, oh, I know her, I know him, that's my mom, that's my lover, that's my child, I know him, I know her. Oh shit, the more we think we know someone, the more we're falling into the trap, because then we're not allowing a space for that person to change and shift and grow, and change is the only constant. So the more we think we know ourselves, and the more we think we know our loved ones, the more we're trapping them in a box of our definition and our expectations. So the more you think you know someone, that's your sign that, oh shoot, I'm falling into the trap. And I need to really open up a space for them to be who they really are in this here now moment. Because the world is shifting so much right now, and we're all changing. And we have to open up that space for other people and ourselves to feel comfortable, to continuously shift and become new, whatever that looks like in each moment, regardless of what we want it to look like, regardless of how we want our relationships to unfold. Because if we only hold on to that, we are limiting the self, the one self, from expressing its light in the highest way. So when you think you know someone, think again. Open up. Even let people know. Express that to your friends and family. Hey, you know what? I just want you to know that I'm here to support you in your growth, whatever that looks like. despite how that involves or doesn't involve me. I'm using all of my energy to be open to your changes right now and your growth. I'm replacing my idea of who I think you are with space for you to do what you want with yourself and your expression. How foolish of me to think that it was my job to define who you are. And I'm letting go of that now. I'm letting go of that, and I'm opening up a space for you to grow in ways that you haven't even known were possible up until now because of my and others' expectations of you. I'm reminding you that you are free to be who you are in what you intuitively feel is your highest expression, because I could never know. And I certainly don't want to get in the way of that process of you connecting to your intuition to be guided to your highest expression. Your soul's freedom is your path. And all the obstructions in the way of it, and all the lessons that you have to go through, and all the challenges that you have to go through, they're not mine to create. They are meant to unfold in divine order. I'm not here to create the obstacles for you. I don't want to be another obstacle in the way of your soul's expression. We already have enough challenges to go through. We already have enough on our plate, enough work to get to that openness of allowing your soul to come through. I wouldn't dare get in the way of that. I'm here, you're here, we're here to support each other in making this path to freedom of our soul's expression, to making that path a graceful one, as graceful as possible, because the challenges are inevitable. And so I'm not here to be another challenge for you. And I'm not here to micromanage your reality, because I surrender. I trust in the universe and the divine plan unfolding. And I know that not only am I not here to be another obstacle, but I'm here to be a support. I'm here to help you cut the cords, guide the way. Not in a way that I see is best, but in a way that you show me is what you need and what you think is best. I'm not here to get in the way. I'm here to hold the space. And when I can help you and when I can support you in clearing a path to your highest expression, then call on me. I'm here now to let you know that's what I'm doing here. That's what we're here for. And when the time comes that I can serve you, trust that I will do so with a fully open heart by way of your guidance and not by way of my own expectations of what you need to do to get to that place of your highest expression. When you call on me, know this. I will be here to support you in a way that you feel you need. When you call on me, I want you to be fully comfortable, first of all, to even call on me. Second of all, to know and trust that I'm not going to have my own agenda. That I'm doing the work right now. I'm doing the work that needs to be done within myself. And I'm doing the work that needs to be done in integrating, resting, reflecting, so that I can fully show up for you. I'm doing this work so that I can fully show up for you to be the best you, so that I could also be the best me. And I trust that you'll do the same. I trust that when I need you, I can call on you with full faith that you're not going to have your own agenda. We're taking back all of our power right now, resting and reflecting, taking back all of our power so that soon we'll be able to fully use all that we've got toward the real goal of not only our own soul's expression, but the true soul expression of all, of one and all. We're all taking back our power right now so that we can redirect the energies into the channels that are going to best support our openness and helping others in the way that their intuition tells them. Especially when it seems illogical, especially when it seems like, no, I have to redirect this person's path. I need to project onto them my own idea of what I think is right. They're crazy. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I need to make this right and I need to tell them who to be or how to be. Especially when you feel that, check yourself. Check in with yourself. Unless your friend or your loved one is in real danger, be careful not to alter their course, because there may be challenges there that they need to go through, that they've been subconsciously praying to go through. And then because of your judgment that it's not the highest path, they miss out on all those lessons. So don't just try to steer your loved ones away from challenges. Challenges are inevitable. But maybe look deeper into what they're saying, to what their soul is expressing through their words. And see behind the material details of where they're headed, where they're actually headed, spiritually, in a way that involves their soul's growth and their expansion. So when your friend says, you know what, I need your support, I need your advice, I'm thinking of going on this journey, I'm thinking of saying yes to this opportunity that showed up, or this relationship. Close your eyes and think before you respond. What lessons could this experience hold for them? And allow your soul to speak to their soul. Allow your highest self to first really come in, to be present in your mind and in your heart before you respond to what they're saying, to what they're sharing. This is the best thing we can do right now. In order to shine forth who we really are and express those parts of ourselves that we've kept hidden for so long, we have to think of the ways that we've been limiting others, because they are our mirrors and reflections. And when we create the space for others to be who they really are and express those parts of themselves that we've been supporting them hiding away, then we're going to do the same. They're going to reflect that to us. When we help others to hide who they are, we're not really helping them, and we're not helping ourselves. To help the one, we need to support others in feeling comfortable to be who they really are, despite who you want them to be. And the more we open up that space for others, the more they open that up for us, and the more we can celebrate who we truly are together as one. So take the time right now to rest and reflect. Think about the burdens you've been carrying, that you've been projecting onto others, and think about how you need to let those go, and how can you let those burdens go? How can you create the space within yourself? How can you be a clear mirror yourself? Get that out of the way. Right? That's the first step, letting go of the burdens and the shit that we're projecting onto each other, creating the space. And then, how can we think of the ways that we've been limiting others? How can we remove those limitations? How can we see ourselves creating a space for others to be vulnerable and open and honest? Really letting them know that that's what we're here for. How can we let our family and friends and loved ones and the world and ourselves, how can we let everybody know that we're a safe place? That we are the one that they can call upon. You are the one that yourself you can call upon for guidance, for support. Truly allowing yourself to feel that safety within you, and truly authentically allowing others to see that you are that space, so that there's no hesitation, so that when your friends and your loved ones need help through their shifting, through their challenges, through their transitions into being more of who they are, how can we let them know 100% without failure that we will be there to support them in that process, no matter what that looks like as far as our involvement in their life? How can we let them know that they can fully trust us in not bringing our own agenda into their plan? It's time for that true friendship. We are in alliance. We are in alliance. We're moving out of selfishness and into altruism. Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, this new age, you know, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different names for this new world, new shift, new age. But Aquarius is altruism, friendship, community, advancement, progression. How can we advance together? Only by allowing ourselves and each other to be who we really are in our highest expression. Only in that way will we collectively reach our highest expression. So I just want to say, you guys, that I'm really grateful for these activations every week. And they've been such a big part of my life. And I know they've been a big part of some of your lives too. And if you really felt this message, and please share it with other people who you think would be receptive. Because the more people who see this, the stronger our activation is together. So share it with those who are awakened or awakening, or with anyone who you think would be receptive. If you need more guidance for this time that we're in, this part of the cycle, I'm still doing private readings. You can private message me or comment to let me know that you're interested in booking a session with me. If you want to learn more about the tarot, my book has been published and you can check it out on the Amazon marketplace. It's called The Royal Path, Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within. So you can order it there for your device. You can order it so that you could read it from your computer or your Kindle or your phone, or you can order a hard copy. And if you want a copy directly from me, I'm happy to write you a little note and send it to you, so let me know. The book is really presenting tarot from a new lens, in a way that's more accessible to anyone, in a way that's not as complicated as it's been presented for years. It's a story of the archetypes and how they are virtuous embodiments that we're all capable of activating within ourselves. If you're more interested in the symbolism within the tarot, next week I'm going to be starting my first Zoom course, and we're going to be going first through the trump cards or the major arcanum, starting with the Fool. So if you're interested in learning more about the Fool and the symbolism within that, which by the way is not included in my book, this is a totally separate perspective, diving deep into the occult aspect really, and the symbolism of the deck. If this is something you're interested, let me know, and I will put you on my list and let you know the day and time for the Zoom meeting for our first tarot lesson. Thank you guys for activating with me and for doing the work for the one, for sitting with me here in this beautiful setting on this beautiful day. And don't forget, guys, sometimes you might not catch the live, and if you don't want to miss out on the weekly activations, you don't want to forget about them, you can get notifications by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/RebeccaMagic with the CK at the end. Hit subscribe and you will get the notifications every time a video is uploaded. And sometimes I do more than just the activation, so keep an eye out for that. And I look forward to next week's activation and seeing how we've all integrated this new mission, how we've all stepped into this new project individually and collectively. Next week we'll get a taste of just how deeply we've received this message here on the new moon, new beginning. And we can kind of tweak and refine our plan for moving ahead then. So tune in next week for the first quarter. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom. See you soon.